What's going on? I'm SJ and we are back on my floor for another vinyl video. And if you couldn't tell by the shirt or the video title, we're going to be covering my red vinyl collection today, so stay tuned. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And I don't think we have a long video today. This is my red collection right here. So could be long, could be short, who knows? But let's find out. If you watch my other two collection videos, you know the rules. Either the vinyl pressing has to be red, or red has to be the primary color in the album art. First up, we have a vinyl that I have not opened yet. I bought this vinyl last year and still have not opened it yet. This is Mariah Carey's MTV Unplugged performance. I believe this is from 1992. I've seen what it looks like online before, so... but I guess this is my in-person reaction, so. And then you take it out. Oh, wow. So, not shot. Wow, that's pretty cool. So on the back, you have the track list. Yep, definitely proud to own this. And after I film this video, I'm gonna get a vinyl slip cover for it to go in to protect it. So, yep, that's Mariah Carey. Next up, we have Wallow's Okay. I made a video on this. If you want to go check that out somewhere on my page, go check it out. So, yep, that's red. Next up, we have the Urban Outfitters exclusive for the Lizzie McGuire movie soundtrack, and it is a red and white splattered vinyl. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking about this vinyl, so if you want to skip right ahead past this vinyl, click on this time. But I gotta talk about this record. Growing up in the time of Lizzie McGuire was just such a time to be alive. All right, so let's talk about the movie and what my thoughts on the movies are now that I'm an adult and how I feel about it now. All right, starting off, unpopular opinion, I don't think that Lizzie and Gordo should have ended up together in the end. That just felt like a weird choice to me. I feel like Lizzie and Gordo, they were friends, and I just didn't feel like they had any like relationship connection. And for the movie to put them together at the very end just felt like such a rushed, unnecessary choice to put Lizzie and Gordo in a relationship. That was kind of strange to me. The whole Lizzie pretending to be Isabella doesn't work that well. Obviously, as an adult, Lizzie's accent is kind of questionable.
Freaky, huh?
Way freaky. Way freaky.
But, you know, for what it's worth, I think she pulled it off. Miranda's obviously not in this movie, and at first that really like ticked me off. But then as years went by, I kind of felt like the movie did fine without Miranda. I know that's a super unpopular opinion, crucifying, but I think the Lizzie McGuire film is fine without Miranda. If she would have been there, of course that would have been great as well, but I think the movie is still good. Like, it's still good without Miranda, and I really like Lizzie and Gordo's friendship, and I also like how they gave Kate character development. That was pretty cool, how Kate really came through for Lizzie like a real one. This movie is also incredibly well shot. What I really like about this movie is that it has that early 2000s rom-com feels, like, you know, that feel. Matt's friend, that blonde girl, she got on my nerves. Every time she was on screen, she got on my nerves because she kept trying to rat Lizzie out, and I wasn't feeling that. My favorite scene in the movie also goes in hand with one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack, and that is the Open Your Eyes to Love scene where Lizzie and Paulo, as much as Paulo's trash, I like that scene where they go into the city in like that little car. I've always wanted that little smart car looking thing with the roof off of it when they go into the town and watch the fireworks. That's my favorite scene from the movie. Gordo, I'm gonna give you your props. You were dope for covering for Lizzie. You are a real one. All right, so let's get into the vinyl. Now inside, this is the actual vinyl pressing itself. Woo, incredible. And then on the back, you have this photo of Lizzie rolling her luggage. This soundtrack is so great from start to finish. So yeah, that is the Lizzie McGuire soundtrack. The next two vinyls I have here are the Taylor Swift Folklore Target Red Exclusive Edition Meet Me Behind the Mall. I haven't opened any of them, so I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna open one of them and check it out. I've actually never seen what this vinyl looks like, so I'm excited to see what it looks like now. So you got the front cover. I really like this cover. And then you open it. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. So then you pull it out. I made a video about a month ago talking about my first reactions to Folklore. Folklore is an album that you really gotta sit with. It's an album that it grows on you increasingly over time. And when I made that video a month ago, I made it way too prematurely because I love this record way more than I did so in that initial video that I made. The One snuck up on me out of nowhere. I've always thought The One was a good song from my first listen, but after sitting with it for about 2 months now, The One is really high up on my list of favorite songs. Initially, I said my favorite song was Mirror Ball, and I think my new favorite song is The One. I still love Mirror Ball. It's probably, at this point, it's number 3 now. Folklore just keeps getting better and better. Songs that I was lukewarm to at first, I've grown to love even more than I could have ever imagined. And then I also watched her Long Pond session on Disney Plus, and just hearing her talk about each song and the process of making the album just makes me love Folklore so much more with each listen. So I'm excited. I'll probably spin this probably tomorrow. Just like my Lizzie McGuire vinyl, I am going to be talking about the movie, so if you don't want to hear about the movie, then just skip ahead to this time. On my first couple of viewings of this movie, I never in a million years thought I would like it enough to go out and buy the vinyl soundtrack for it. I'm on quoting level with this film. Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine.
Call me by your name and I'll call you by mine.
What things that matter.
Well, if you only knew how little I know about the things that matter.
What things that matter?
The cast has such great chemistry together, especially Army and Timothy, and I feel like their chemistry is beyond a romantic on film. I think that they just have really great chemistry and a bond. Oliver and Elio just have a bond. They have this deep admiration for each other, and they see qualities in one another that they admire and want to have. And that's why I like the title of it, the film and the book, Call Me By Your Name, because they both just play off each other so well, and it's almost like they see themselves in each other. Does that make sense? I'm not a film critic, so bear with me. If you've seen this movie multiple times, you'll know that it gets better each time you watch the movie, because there's so many subtleties that make up this film that you'll miss it. So this is one of those movies where you have to keep watching it multiple times, and each time you watch it, you'll pick up on something new, because the movie is so clever at pushing the story along through the characters' facial expressions or body movements, and like camera angles. The cinematography of this film is to die for. The whole aesthetics of this movie is just dreamy. It just makes you feel like you're on an LSD trip of beauty. This is my first vinyl that I own that is a hardcover type vinyl. It almost feels like those hardcover children picture books, and that's like what the material kind of feels like it's made of. So right now it's in this clear slip right here, and this is an exclusive vinyl, and only 10,000 copies of this were made, and this one is number 8,282. So I think that's a really high number, and I think that's not good when you get like an exclusive edition, but I don't care. I'm just really glad to own any copy of this. So yeah, this is the front, and then this is the back. All right, so I'm gonna open it up, and I've never spun this record. I've only opened it, but I've never spun it because I'm not sure I want to. I love this photo that they chose. I think that's a really great shot. But we move on into the gatefold part, and while I do like this scene, and this scene is really important for like their connection development or whatever, there's so many photos I would have chosen for the gatefold part. Now it comes with a poster, and I'm actually not mad at this poster photo. I actually wish this photo was selected for the gatefold. I think this photo really would have been more effective. I love this shot. Next up, we have the logo again, and then we have this photo of Elio and Oliver, and I'm actually not mad at this photo. I think this was a great photo. This is not a scene from the movie, so this just must be an outtake or something, and I'm actually not mad at this. I know a lot of people have an issue with their age difference in the film, and fair enough, but it doesn't really bother me. I still think they have like great chemistry regardless. And now for the actual vinyl itself, it is this amazing translucent red pressing. I really love this film and soundtrack, and I'm so glad to have this in my collection. It's very, very special. So yeah, that is Call Me By Your Name, exclusive red translucent vinyl. I actually think I might end up spinning it because I really want to hear that track that was playing when Oliver and Elio were riding bikes. I love that score so much. Last up, we have one of my most prized vinyls in my entire collection, and that is Nelly Furtado's Loose. Words cannot describe how happy and proud I am to have this record in my vinyl collection. I'm gonna be honest with you, if I could not have this record in my vinyl collection, I wouldn't want to vinyl collect at all. Before I even started collecting vinyls, this was like my top priority, is to have Loose on vinyl. And for the longest time, I could never find Loose on vinyl. Still to this day, if I even wanted to buy another copy, this album is so rare to find on vinyl. This record to me is just a part of the soundtrack of my entire childhood. Every time I think of Nelly Furtado's Loose, I instantly think of the MTV TRL days. I'll instantly think of the earlier iPod editions, the iPod Nano, the iPod Classic. And while this album makes me feel nostalgic and just reminiscing on my childhood, this record is so timeless. It still sounds so fresh, and this album was definitely ahead of its time. Timbaland did an outstanding, phenomenal job with this record, and the creativity that Nelly Furtado brought for this album and the entire era is so unforgettable, and it's so amazingly good. This album still goes so hard to this day. You got Promiscuous, Man Eater, Do It. It gives you a perfect blend of club music, and then you also got inspirational music. You've got music that is just chill and vibey, and the whole album is just a perfect blend of different sounds that sound so authentic to Nelly Furtado. It's Nelly Furtado evolving as a musician and experimenting and kind of stepping out of her comfort zone, it seems like, and she does it so effortlessly, amazingly well. Yet the album sounds cohesive, and I love cohesive records. Loose was released in 2006, and I think that the mid 2000s to late 2000s is one of my favorite eras of music overall. This record made the red category, obviously, because this incredible, legendary cover with the red coming through and the palm trees in the back. Yet this is definitely my favorite red vinyl. And then on the back, you've got this photo of Nelly and more red. I hate how rare that this vinyl is to find, because I would definitely want to own more than one, because I genuinely love spinning it and listening to it. And so far I've only spun it twice, and each time I've spun it has been bliss. So you open it up, and then on the inside you just have the track list and then the credits, and then I believe this is a thank you note from Nelly to everyone that worked on the album and her fans. And then right here you have her first two albums, Whoa Nelly and Folklore. I want to own Whoa Nelly and Folklore so bad on vinyl, but those are just equally as hard to find on vinyl, so there's nothing I could do. It's a double LP, and it's just your standard black vinyl pressing. Nelly Furtado absolutely killed this era, the entire Loose era. And there's also a live concert album for Loose, and I love that so much as well. Nelly has put out so much music since Loose, and first and foremost, I want to say justice for The Spirit Indestructible, TSI's Nelly Furtado's 2012 album, and that record is so good, and it was criminally slept on. That album should have gotten so much more. I love The Spirit Indestructible. If you like Loose, you will like The Spirit Indestructible. It's more of it's obviously Nelly Furtado evolving more into her artistry, but man, that album was great. So that concludes my red vinyl collection. I really hope you enjoyed it. If so, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought, and hopefully I'll see you on my next vinyl video. Bye.